Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today we are diving into a special meeting of stockholders for LightPath Technologies. And let me tell you, it involves some financial maneuvering that might leave you scratching your head or maybe saying, aye. This meeting is all about getting the green light on some big moves, from buying another company to issuing more stock. Think of it as asking shareholders to bless a corporate shopping spree and a bit of financial restructuring. If you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can talk about this and more. LightPath Technologies wants to issue more stock, but before we jump into that, who are they? LightPath makes optical components, lenses and things like that. The first thing on the agenda is getting approval to issue a bunch of new stock. Why? Because they bought another company called G5 Infrared. So they need to issue some new shares, and there's a NASDAQ rule that says, hey, if you issue too many shares, you need to ask your shareholders. There's a limit to how much new investors can get. It's called beneficial ownership limitation and exchange cap, kind of like a speed bump. They want to remove these speed bumps so the new investors can get more shares. If they don't remove it, what happens? Well, the investors can't vote all their shares, and LightPath has to keep having shareholder meetings until it's approved. So they really want this to pass. And to make it pass, certain stockholders already promised to vote yes. The investors and the big guys at LightPath already said they're voting yes. That makes up 13.4% of the vote. Let's take a quick peek at who owns the most shares. This can tell us who really calls the shots. Northrun affiliated funds own around 12%. iCapital Management owns around 9%, IM Equity LLC, Leviticus Partners LP, Arcade Un around 5.64%, Marathon Microfund LP Alfie also owns around 5.83%. Now we can see who has enough shares to influence the company. Next up is more stock, but this time for the employees. They want to give employees and directors more stock options. This is part of their compensation. They have a plan called 2018 Stock and Incentive Compensation Plan, but they're running out of shares. They want to add 4 million more shares. LightPath is saying they need more to attract people to the company, and it's important for success. If you don't attract talented people, you're going to go down, and they say stock options are how to do it. What happens to your shares if they start printing 4 million new ones out of thin air? Your shares get diluted, they get worth less. LightPath says it's currently less than 10%, but wants to up it to 14%. There's something called a burn rate. We can see how fast they're burning through shares. 2% per year on average. Atlas, they're asking for more. Should they get it? If we approve, these employees can be here in the future. If we don't, they won't be. Board believe they need 4 million more shares to go on for the next 3 years. And last but not least, there is an employee stock purchase plan. So workers can buy stock with their paycheck. Every 6 months, they can use money from their paycheck to buy shares. And who can join in on it? You have to have worked there a little bit before signing up. Can't only be working less than 20 hours a week, less than 5 months of the year, or owning too much already. Up to 15% of each paycheck can be used. You can't buy more than $25,000 worth of shares each year. They can change this plan whenever they want without asking shareholders unless it affects a specific amount. Let's check out how the top dogs are getting compensated at LightPath. In 2024, the main CEO, Shmuel Rubin, was paid about $460,000. Not bad. The other big guy in LightPath was paid about $273,000. If you had invested $100 back in 2021, you would have earned roughly $50 as of this year. Unfortunately, if you look at income loss for the year, LightPath is still losing $8 million. In 2023, Shmuel got paid roughly $471,000. And the non-CEO guy was paid roughly $285,000. This is similar to the amount for 2024. If you had invested $100 in 2021, you would have earned $54 at the end of 2023. Net income loss was better, but still at a $4 million loss. In 2022, Shmuel received $360,000 and the other guy got $262,000. Investment grew to 48, it had net loss of about 3.5 million. As we can see, LightPath is constantly losing money, but paying CEO roughly the same. All in all, these votes are a way of keeping everyone aligned with the company's goals. They can also be seen as a way of ensuring people are fairly incentivized for growth. But it's always important to look at the details and how much everything costs at the end. LightPath needs to be careful about its current money losing situation and focus on gaining cash. They have high expenses and they should be careful or they will burn and crash. Alright, that's our breakdown of LightPath's special meeting. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.